Stand up, New York Mets and Yankees fans. We're about to get started. Thank God this game's being aired on YouTube through Fox Sports. Yeah, a lot of length. He got some of that to Justin Hageman, but he didn't get enough to where Hageman could get hit with a decision beyond a loss. Montage's biggest character flaw is that he tends to tip his pitches. Trent Grisham leads off for the Yankees. First pitch underway, and it's a fastball over the middle, strike one. 16 homers, 33 RBIs, 248 average, and 828 OPS for Grisham. A one pitch. Chopper. Montas scoops it up, flips to Alonso, one down. He didn't like it. First pitch. And that's check swing. He went around 0-1. Judge leads in OPS and batting average, 1.214 and 365 respectively, but he's still behind Cal Raleigh in homers and ribbies from Seattle. Ground ball, Lindor scoops it up, fires, two down to start the game for the Yankees. Here's a guy you need to throw a four-seamer, but keep it as far up on him as you can, that being Cody Bellinger. Bellinger hit a homer that tied the game yesterday, and this is the one guy the Mets didn't want to face outside of Judge. He's not. Take strike one. Strike two. Hi, Ronald Duffney. 1-2-0, 1-2. Or too high. Ben Rice on deck, laying the wings. 1-2 pitch. Bounces into the dirt. 2-2. This is what you don't want to do if you're Montas. I mean, lost the first game of this series yesterday. They've got streamlined. 2-2. Hey, 2-2 pitch. Grounder to McNeil. Rolls it up. Fires. Getting over. Hello, Joey 77. Yankees coming up next. No score through half an inning. First pitch. Sorry about that, folks. It seems that it switched that was only available for one fucking inning. Good lord. Well, back to the default, and Marte blasts one to center over the head of Trent Grisham, and he'll get on to second with a double. Well, basically the same pitch that Dominguez overshot yesterday in the gap. Grisham was playing too deep towards right field, and this one just died in front of him and got by him. First pitch to Lindor. He went over 4 yesterday. Swings and misses at a slider, or down and in. Down and away, strike one. Against Rodon, Lindor is 10 out of 38. Lindor asks for time. Rodon this year, 9-5 in 18 appearances, 295, 106 2/3, 70 hits, 37 walks, whip of 123 Ks. Let's see what he gets here. 0-1 pitch is outside, 1-1. How was I supposed to know Fox was only doing FS1 was doing only a half inning? This is chop foul, 1-2. In the dirt, 2-2. I mean, Marte does have speed, but he hasn't used it much in the last couple of years, mostly due to knee injuries. And that appearance streak got snapped in 23. 2-2. That's got a piece of it, and it bounces to the backstop. We'll do it again. I'm surprised Bellinger's actually playing first, not outfield today. It bounces away, but it bounces towards third base, not away from it. So Wells is wisely able to keep it in front of him and stop and prevent Marte from going to third on that bounce up. This is a heads or tails situation for the Yankees. On the one hand, you could walk Lindor to force the double play situation. On the other hand, do you want to risk that? And they are going to risk it, ball 4. So the Mets will have runners on first and second, nobody out. And double play is a prime picking if you can get Soto to hit on the ground. So where it took 9 pitches for Montas to get out of inning 1, at minimum, it'll take 10 for Rodon to get out of the bottom half. At minimum. Soto has turned it around over the last 7 weeks. "21 homers, 50 RBIs. First pitch. Soto's going to bunt it? Wells goes over to first, and he'll field it. Actually, I like that move by Mendoza. Have Soto bunt, move the runners up, and negate the double play chance. I actually like that move by Mendoza. I mean, or a fly ball if Alonso can get it in the outfield. A pop up does nothing. Alonso, 352 hitter with runners in scoring position. 8 homers, 48 RBIs. Let's see what he's got here. And he takes a high pitch, ball one. I did say at minimum it would take 10 pitches for Rodon to get out of this. That was pitch 10, and it's not going to come on this at bat at least. Him getting out of it won't come on this at bat at the very least. 1-0 pitch. Check swing. Go around. No, he did not. 2-0. Two-0 pitch. That's way outside. 3-0. Question is here: do you give Alonso the green light to swing? On the one hand, if he hits it into the outfield, you get, whether it be on the ground or in the outfield, you're forcing the Yankees to give up a run at minimum. Payoff pitch. 3-0 pitch. And that's a strike. 3-1. Against lefties, the Mets are 11-10 this year. Was there a point to that? Either way, bags loaded, and now Nimmo comes up. But there is a trade-off to walking Alonso if you're the Yankees. The double play is now back in play for the Yankees. Mound visit to try to calm, going to be used up by the Yankees to try to calm Rodon down again to hit a grounder to Nimmo, force Nimmo to hit a grounder. Can't say that I blame him. And Bruce Mammy, you make a good point. When they play consciously, the Mets have a chance. But when they gamble, they fall to pieces. But I blame that on Mendoza, not the Mets themselves. Strike one. That's in the dirt. 1-1. On one pitch. Cut on and miss. 1-2. Yeah, Nimmo got too far ahead of that one. Nimmo has a grand salami already this year. He got back in game 2 of the doubleheader against Milwaukee a couple of days ago. And this one's going to go to right center field. And he's got salami.
And so he gets underway to deep center track near the wall, and it's out of here. Time and ahead, 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the fence. It's out of here. 1-2 Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field, chasing Rodon back to the warning track, and it's out of here! Pete Alonso goes the other way.
Big swing by Nimmo, his 18th of the year. Mets up 4-0 right out of the gate. Vientos down 1-0-1 on the count. Strike two. Ball one. One on the back foot slider to Vientos. One in, DB. Vientos hits one to short, right at Volpe, and he's out. High fly ball to Renz. This is going to be playable at least. Dragging back. Dominguez jumps, and he's got it. But the Mets do get a salami on a couple of hits, a double by Marte, a pair of walks to Lindor and Alonso, and then Nimmo bombs it. Gets the salami. Through one, Mets 4, Yankees 0. First met with 3 home grand slams. What'd that say? First met with 3 grand slams in a season since 2006 is Brandon Nimmo. The last one to do that, Carlos Beltran. Long time no see, De Luna. Good slider by Rodon to get Nimmo to chase. And here's the bad one. Boom! Too much plate. Middle of the bat. Driven to right center. He'll face Benny Rice. The substitute cat pit defensive sub yesterday. And Rice pops this one up to left. Is Nimmo going to be able to get it? He's in the shadows. Yes, one down. That's for sure. And he played too much with his food in the form of Pittsburgh last time. First pitch is a strike to Chisholm, who has been hitting better since he returned from the injured list. Ball one. He has Peraza at second today. I don't know what the hell Boone's thinking with that. 1-1. That's fouled off, 1-2. But he doesn't have Goldschmidt first today. Hey, it's Cody. 1-2 check swing, foul down the third base line. Sometimes they've inserted him at shortstop for one reason or another. Which in most cases he doesn't. 1-2 pitch. Ball two. And Chisholm blasts one. That's gone. Yankees on the board.
It is high.
Oppo Taco. Yankees on the board.
It is high. It is far. It is gone. That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
That is ripped into right. Back at the wall. See ya.
Schmidt swings at the first pitch and launches it to left center field and deep. Mitchell back, track, wall. See ya.
Dominguez had 2 homers yesterday, and he takes ball one. Wind blowing out to right field from what it looks like. That one was smashed to left center. Fouled off, 1-1. Dominguez had a big day at the plate yesterday. 2 homers, 3 RBIs, but he's not much of a power threat. He's a contact hitter for the Yankees. Case in point, the game where he nearly had a cycle against Toronto on Thursday. That's fouled off, 1-2. True. 2-2. That's grounded. Alonso will scoop it up. He'll step on the bag. 2 down. Ooh. Okay, I know him. No, Sammy Sosa. Damn. Swing and a miss by Volpe, I believe this is. Yep, it's Volpe. Swing and a miss. Volpe was 0 for 3 yesterday. I couldn't. 1-2. Volpe rips it down the line, but that's going to go foul. Montez getting into trouble now. He's thrown 16 pitches in this inning. Two and two. Two pitch. Split grip. Trying not to tip it. John swinging upstairs for the high fees. However, the Yankees do get a run back. You do get one run back. Damn right, hit the like button, Bean. Inning and a half complete, 4-1 Mets. Let's see if they can add to it. Another game's going on. It's now 5-3 Cubs over the Cardinals following a Carson Kelly, how do you get it? Homer. Oh, wait, no, that's not how we have to leave. Oh, wild pitch. And Alec Burleson, with his 11th, just cut the Cardinal deficit in half. Rays and Twins are tied at 5 after 7. Through 5, going into 5.5, the Jays lead the Angels 3-2. It's 2-0 Boston over Washington. But we're only in the bottom of the second. Through 2.5, no score in Philadelphia. Through 2, no score in Arizona. 2-0 Atlanta through an inning and a half over Baltimore. And Miami and Milwaukee are tied at 1. Following a Kyle Stover's homer, his 16th. And Eric Watt. Excuse me, folks. Strike one to McNeil on a sinker, and then another pitch, this time a fastball, 0-2. That's fouled off. .872 actually. That's fouled off. At least he's fighting. Excuse me for a minute, folks. I got to get a package off the porch. While I'm doing this, listen to Gary, Ron, and Keith. I'll be back in a minute.
Dressing up as a teenage kid. It's like he's trick or treating. No, it's trick or treat. It's a jockey at the third at Belmont. McNeil Black, the one that's caught by Rob. You know, I mean, the stuff they come up with now, it's amazing. It's like those parents, you know, when you're trick or treating when you're a kid and you get a little bit too old to trick or treat and you go knock on the door. Trick or treat. Son, aren't you a little bit old? Too old to be doing this? Yeah, but that's when they start TPing your trees, right? Tyrone Taylor trying to find his way into the dreadful slump. He's 2 for his last 35. His home run on his leg, though, against Rodon. 2 hits and 4 career at-bats against Rodon. So many left-handers who have struggled against lefties this year. 176. 11-10 overall. The game started by lefties against them.
Okay, so what happened? Neil lined out to Peraza. 1-2 to Taylor. Grounder. Chisholm's got it. He's going to fire. Overthrows! And into the dugout. That's an E5 on Chisholm.
Like I said earlier, his throwing has been an issue at third base. There's not a gold glover to live. You throw it over the head. They're all the way. Gary, you had it right. He kind of mistimed it. Had so much topspin that when he made it, he was kind of surprised and he panicked a little bit, and that affected his throw. A runner in scoring position for Marte.
Takes ball 1. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Do you take off on this pitch? 1-1. Let's see. Nope. 2-1. Ball 3. Marte fouls that one off. Full count.
It's almost like he was trying to pick that hole between Bellinger and Peraza, which is a rather large and wide, fast.
Rodon steps off.
40th pitch already for Rodon.
Rodon, excuse me, princess. So Luis Acuña's called back up after the break. Marte lines one to left field. Dominguez goes up over his head off the wall, but Dominguez plays the Karen perfectly. That's going to hold Marte to a single. But Taylor will score easily. 5-1 Mets. Middle fastball, got the bottom of the barrel of the bat. Dominguez let go over his head. but he was in perfect position to play the carom, and once it hit off the wall, threw it back in, forcing Marte to hit the brakes. Lindor takes the first two pitches, strike.
First 4 steals this year. He is the Major League stolen base leader.
And he swings at one high and out. Lindor goes down swinging, first strikeout for Rodon. Took him up until his second time through the batting order to get it, but he got it. Here's Juan Soto. Neither was I, to be honest. First pitch, and he takes strike one. On off the outside.
Second baseman Montesario was playing way to the pole. Soto got the base hit up.
Strike two. One thing I hate about using this thing, it's always ahead. I'd rather stay on pace. One-two pitch. And Soto pops it up behind third base. Chisholm's under it. He'll make the catch to rectify the error he gave up. But one unearned run, one hit, one error, and the Mets get the run back. Through 2, New York Mets 5, New York Yankees 1. Montas will go up against Wells, Peraza, and then Grisham. In the third. Well, yeah. Wells takes strike one. Excuse me. I was wondering where the hell I was. My mom got a book in the order from Amazon Delivered to the door. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. 1-2. And Montas is getting himself in trouble. Why? 1-2 pitch on the way to Wells. Driven to right field. Gone.
It is high, it is far, it is gone! That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes! See ya!
That is ripped into right, back at the wall. See ya!
Schmidt swings at the first pitch and launches it to left center field and deep. Mitchell back, track, wall, see ya!
I'm not sure, but I'm almost certain that at this point, Montas is doing the dumb thing he's doing again. Pitch tipping. Let's watch carefully here. That's fouled off. 0-2 to Peraza. One and two. Two and two. I think Montas is losing command of his pitch at this point. That one's fouled. We'll do it again. Peraza grounds it to Vientos. He'll scoop it up. He'll get a hold of it. Fire to first. One down. No doubt, dumbass. You're referring to Montas. He fouls a fastball that was dead center. 0-1. That's checked foul. Haven't they won 5 of the last 9, the Mets? Whatever. It's pronounced manga, Keith. Or is that Ron? It's pronounced manga, Keith. And on paper, that should be easy pickings. But if we saw what happened in Pittsburgh, appearances are deceiving. With what happened to the Mets when they were in Pittsburgh, appearances are deceiving. 0-2 chop foul again. Which is a relief. Ball one. One, two. Fly ball hits a right center field. Taylor on his horse. And he's got it just before the warning track. First pitch, slider on the outside corner, just manages to get the call on one. That's outside, 1-1. Way too far out. Two one. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Two pitch. Chase the high cheese, strike three. So 1 run, 1 hit, 1 coughed up, and nothing else. It's now Mets 5, Yankees 2. And St. Louis just took the lead back from Chicago. Let's see how they got it. Oh, 3-run homer by Yoel Pozo. So in the top of the 8th. Okay. Kind of sad when you consider the Cubs are one of the top teams in the National League this year. They're among the top 4 with Mets, Phillies, and Cardinals in the NL this year. In other games, it's tied at 3 in Atlanta between the Braves and the Orioles. Arizona's up 2-0 on Kansas City. 2-1 Miami on Milwaukee. Toronto hanging on to a 3-2 lead, but they're in trouble against the Angels. Tied at 5 in Minnesota between the Rays and the Twins. And I already mentioned Cardinals up on the Cubs 8-6. Granted, that game has been about as back and forth as yesterday's game between the Mets and the Yankees. Mets will have Alonso, Nimmo, and McNeil in the 3rd inning. Shit ads. The Rangers Suarez gets out of a pickle. bases loaded jam, and he gets a ground out from Jose Trevino to end the fourth. In the meantime, let's get back to this game. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Alonso. Ball 3. Full count. Yeah, Clark Schmidt under the knife for elbow surgery for Tommy John. He's not going to be coming back until next season. At best, at worst, he's not coming back until 2027 for the Bombers. So fouled that one off. Who? And Alonso tips one into the glove, strike 3. I hate these jokes. One on one. Newman lines one to center, but it's playable for Grisham, and he'll get it. 2 down. Oh, 2 so far to Vientos, and I know this thing is behind on me. Vientos has lost most of his plate discipline from last year. Good grief. Vientos fouls that one off the mask of Wells, but he'll be okay. Right on the top of the head. Speaking of grimace, that seat is still there in the Coca-Cola corner. Yeah, they gotta get a scar in there. They're in a panic. Wells doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue.
You have something happen to you like this, a lot of people feel nauseous. Your head just starts feeling like it's going to bust out of your skull. But there you go. Look at this. It's hard to concentrate on a finger back and forth. It's a light sensitivity. I'm wondering if they hit him on top of the hip, if it didn't compress his neck down. You know? Yeah, it might have. Catchers are so tough. I had to continue. I'm a little shocked by this.
They're going to let him stay in.
Satisfied the trainer, satisfied everyone. I mean, for those finishes the inning and then, yeah.
Viento's going to take a step out so they can get some recovery pitches. Escara waiting on just in case. I think it's just the plan to let Wells finish the inning. It's low, 1-2. And two. I question that, but go okay. Your loss, your loss will be a gain. 2-2. Little number to short. Volpe will backhand it. He'll fire it. Inning over. So first clean inning for the Yankees, i.e. a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the fourth. 5-2 Yankee. 5-2 Mets. Hola, Capitan. You busy? Bellinger, Rice, and Chisholm due up to face Montas. The question is, can this leadoff trend continue for the Yankees? Last two innings, the leadoff man has gotten one over the fence, predominantly due to how badly he tips the pitches. Or two of the last three innings, I think the man has gotten it over the fence on him.
You could win big this 4th of July weekend on one of the amazing Mets Foundation 50-50 raffle rolling jackpot. Winning number will be selected after the 6th inning of Sunday's game. Visit Mets.com/50-50 to learn more and join the jackpot. With inning Cody Bellinger leads off against Frankie Montas.
Personally, I would pinch hit Wells in the fourth, at the fifth, if you get that far. First pitch, foul ball down the first baseline, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Grounder to Alonso. He'll scoop it up. Trot to the bag. 1 down. Here's Benny Rice. I actually forgot about 0-1. That's fouled off. 0-2. That's line on the right. Soto going back. He leaps and he's got it. Strike 1. For the price of 500 life points, up to 5 per card are banished. So long as you have a fiend on the field, you can disband. Both players are required to banish 5 up to 5 cards from the graveyard. 5 monsters from the graveyard. Of course, as I mentioned, the downside is the owner of the card has to pay the 500-point penalty per card. Two and two. 1-2. Two. Chisholm whacks one to center. This one's playable for Taylor, and Montas gets his second 1-2-3 inning of the game. 5-2 Mets through 3.5. Price of 500. In the actual game, Necros' effects are heavily nerfed, and to get rid of it and to destroy it automatically, you can just get rid of 1 piece of Exodia. Get 1 piece of Exodia out of the graveyard and you do it. Doubt it. Yeah, not happening. Cheeseburger. Mets are content with Lindor at short, occasionally Luis Angel Acuna. You can keep that fox. I'm not letting another one in the damn hen house. Which saved it from traps. Which protected it from monster effects. Which gave it its power boosts. First pitch to Torrens is a strike. Two and one. Torrens fouls that off 2-2. Two is low. Torrens doesn't swing. He holds up. Full count. He fouls that one off. Reds get on the board first on a Ellie De La Cruz single, so they're up 1-0 through 4.5 in Philadelphia. 5-3 Baltimore, 2-2 in Miami. It's fouled off again. Angels have tied the game at 3 on a single by Nolan Schnall, or however. Point still applies, but they're nowhere in the thick of the wild card race. Payoff pitch to Torrens. This one's ground toward the hole. Chisholm will cut off Volpe, and this time he'll get the out. I mean, why not just let Volpe get that? But then again, if you do, even with the lack of speed Torrens has, odds are Volpe's just going to stick that in his pocket. Damn. McNeil takes ball one. And won it all that year. McNeil lines one, caught by Bellinger, 2 down. Strike one on the Ty Taylor. Taylor reached on a throwing error by Chisholm in the second, and he later scored on the Marte single. This one's chopped foul down the third baseline, 0-2. Since June 13th, the Mets now have are tied for the second worst winning percentage. Yankees are now the fourth, and now the Guardians actually have the worst. To Taylor, and he just stares at it, inning over. So, once again, nothing across for the Mets. I think they're starting to get a little too complacent. 4 innings complete. Mets 5, Yankees 2. Oh, Cardinals beat the Cubs 8-6. That explains it. And much like how yesterday's game between the Mets and Yankees was basically almost exclusively long ball heavy, today's game in Atlanta between the Braves and the Orioles is just the same. All four scoring hits have been homers, 2 for each side. Oh, it's 3 for the Orioles, 2 for the Braves. First pitch to Dominguez, ball 1. Breaks the bat. Lindor comes in, just gets the out, 1 away. One out. 1-1. Shame I can't go to this. Manny missed all of last year. Fly ball to the right center. Taylor steadies. He's got it. 2 down. Well, second best, technically. Best start. And Wells pops it up. He's going to get it. It's going to be McNeil, inning over. So we're halfway home. Montas in line for the W. Question is Mendoza going to be dumb enough to gamble it away like he did last time? Halfway home, Mets 5, Yankees 2. And by last time, I mean the last time he had Montas on the mound with a 3-0 lead. And that was basically a couple of Tuesdays ago against Atlanta. And you remember, folks, how pissed I got when he brought in Reed Garrett for the sixth inning with runners on. A nasty habit of his. Willies. Ball one. One to Marte, who's had a double and a single tonight this afternoon. Score RBI on the latter. Scored in the former. Strike one. Second, the Mets haven't gotten a hit off. Rodon's been pretty hot. Slow chopper. Peraza's throw. Scooped up by Bellinger, and he got it. One down. Once again, Volpe is cut off. If it was a short two-hopper, maybe, but just maybe, Marte gets there, but I doubt it. My girl. Ball one. My girl, my girl. 2-0. In the dirt again, 3-0. So Atlanta tied it again. I wonder how that happened. Let's check. Let's see. Here we go. Ball four. Austin Riley double with 2 outs. Olsen just not back to clear the bags, but Olsen not fast enough to beat the relay throw, and Olsen with a single, but cut the deficit to 1. Reds game is now tied following how they happened. An Mundo Sosa homer. Lindor walks, for those wondering what happened. Here comes Soto. Strike one is Soto's habit of not taking the first pitch. Sack bunt and a pop-up. It's been the line so far for Juan. That one's low, 1-1. So the Mets have gotten 3 walks and 3 strikeouts out of their offense, while their pitching has only gotten 2 strikeouts and no walks against the Yankees. And again, there's only been 5 hits, 3 of them homers. Ball 2, and Rodon is starting to crack. What pitch is he up to? 85. Yeesh. Sooner or later, Boone's going to have to get him out of there. Or getting ready to take off. He does. Strike 2. The throw to second. Safe. Due to Soto. In the dirt again, full count. Now, if Soto can make some contact, this would mitigate a double play possibility for the Yankees. Here comes. And he goes, tips it into the glove, strike 3. Okay, number 4 for Rodon. Here comes Pete Alonso. Alonso is another strike. Has walked, and also like Lindor and Soto, he's also walked. Like Lindor, he's also walked and struck out. And Soto's RISP batting average woes have reared their ugly head again. And there's a step off by Rodon. Scott Efros, who was in for the eighth yesterday, warming up in the Yankee pen, he'll probably come on for the sixth. Pickoff attempt to second, no go, as Lindor gets back there safely. Pete hasn't hit a homer since June 20th, if I remember correctly. Since June 19th, if I remember correctly. That one gets away. Lindor is going to take off for third. Ball one. Wild pitch on Rodon. By Rodon. Who is the only player to steal 40 bases in a career with both the Mets and the Yankees? The answer, Ricky Henderson. 326 with the Yankees, 42 with the Mets. And Alonso whacks one. Right field. That ball is out of here. 7-2 Mets, number 19 for Pete this year. And career high in career 245. 7-2 New York.
And so gets on the deep center track near the wall, and it's out of here. Time and ahead, 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. Back goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the field. It's out of here. 1-2 Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field, chasing Rodon back to the warning track, and it's out of here! Pete Alonso goes the other way.
And Nimmo cracks one, and that's going to drop for a base hit for a single. So Nimmo has a salami and a single. And let's look at the record rates for Alonso this year. He is still on pace to break Strawberry's team record. He just needs 8 more to get there. And for him, that was homer number 19 and RBIs 69 and 70 on the season. Here's Vientos, who's had a rough patch. Throw over to try to cut Nimmo off. No good. So the Mets now have a 5-run advantage. I mean, just look at this. Boom. Yesterday missed one off the end of the bat. This one's a little more in. In on the center of the bat and gone. The sad thing for the Yankees is all 7 runs they've gotten in this series so far through the first game and a half have been by the damn long ball. Which reminds me of that series the Mets had with the Rockies last year. Throw, and Nimmo is safe. Damn, it reminds me of that series the Mets had with the Rockies around this time last year. Doing good, Yassine. Doing good. Ball 3. And they turned Mizorowski, who looked like a machine, and made him a man. They took Mizorowski, who seemed like a machine in his first 3 starts, and made him into a man. 3-1. And the Reds can't do anything with a leadoff double in the top of the 6th. Philly's now up in the bottom. Good grief. Yada yada does. And Vientos lines out to Peraza to end the inning. But the Mets do get 2 runs, 2 hits, strand 1, and strand 1. We're now through 5. Montas should be coming back out for the 6th. Through 5, New York Mets 7, New York Yankees 2. So essentially, the Mets get both the run they coughed up back and an additional run. Lindor has stolen his 14th bag of the game of the season. Nimmo had stolen his 9th, for those wondering. You basically know that that 5th inning was Carlos Rodon's final inning of the day. 97 pitches, 7 runs, 6 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 5 hits, 2 home runs. The big blows to him today, the 2-run homer by Alonso in the 5th, and the grand slam by Nimmo in the 1st. On the other hand, so far, Montas has struck out 2, hasn't walked anybody, 2 runs, both earned, 2 hits, both solo homers on 63 pitches through 5. He'll face Peraza, Grisham, and Judge. My question is Austin Wells going to be able to hit for the rest of the game? I mean, especially after that foul ball hit off him in the 4th. I mean, it seems like he's going to stay in the game, but I still question bringing him out again. But I still question using him tomorrow. Better safe than sorry, due for the sake of concussion protocol. He'll be out for a week at best, worst. Peraza takes strike 1 from Montas. One. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Slow roller to Lindor. He'll spin, fire, 9 time. Too much time on the spin to get the ball out of the glove. He's safe. Nice pick by Pete, though, but it doesn't matter. He was safe either way. Here's Grisham. Golfs this one to shallow left. Nimmo coming on. Can't get it, but it's backed up by Taylor, so everyone moves up. Doesn't move up more than a base. And this is what you don't want. The Judge up with runners on. And if you're Montas, this is what you don't want. Facing Aaron Judge with men on. And nobody out. Strike one. And it's 3-1 Philadelphia. Damn it. 1-1. Let's see how they got it. More than likely a 2-run bomb. Yep. Fuck you, Alec Bohm. Two one. Two on the Judge. Grabs on the third. Vientos left. Throw the first, and he got him, but just barely. And he'll get one, and he'll take getting one out at least. Colin Ballinger chases a changeup in the dirt, 0-1. Two-run double, 7-4 Mets. And it's now the right time to get Montas out of there. Two-run double by Bellinger. And the Met lead has been cut from 7-5 to 7-4. And everyone was playing that ball too deep. Now the Mets infielders going in to try to calm Montas down. And Dick Lovely, who wasn't used yesterday, warming up in the Met bullpen. And I am worried, and I'm going to be worried if he comes out. Now, you not understand why Montas is now pitching from the stretch. You're basically giving the Yankees a chance to scout you by doing this. That's gambling 101. Ground out by Judge. Ball one. Yes, Manuel Soto, sábado, Tachillas, quiero 72, Jehová, Donai, Messina. I'm in the middle of a game call, Mom. Down the first, foul ball. I'll be right back. I gotta check the mailbox. Sorry about that. My mom needed me to get the mail. Ben Rice flies out to center. It's caught by Taylor. Out goes Frankie Montas. In comes Richard Lovelady. And in comes Richard Lovelady. So Montas's day is done. He goes 5 2/3, 2 strikeouts, 4 hits, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 2 on homers, 2 singles, and a double. I get wanting to play the numbers, but that's something that normally Moron Mendoza doesn't like to do, play the numbers. But again, you're stretched thin in the pen. I mean, you did mitigate that somewhat by just relying on Austin Warren, Huascar Brazoban, and Reed Garrett yesterday. But all you've got to work with today are Zach Pop, who you just brought in from Toronto, Brandon Waddell, Ryan Stanek, Edwin Diaz, and Chris Davinsky, and Rico Garcia to a lesser extent. 1-1. Against Southpaws, Chisholm has been spotty. 13 of 58 with a .224 batting average against Southpaws. That's fouled off and hits and ricochets to the backstop, 1-2. You can't use Garrett again. You overtaxed him yesterday, so he's off the table. So your other options are Waddell, Davinsky, and Brazoban. I mean, true, Brazi worked yesterday, but we'll tap her back to Lovely. He's going to fire. Got the out, and the Mets mitigate the damage. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 stranded for the Yankees. That closes the book on Montas's day. 5 2/3, 2 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hit runs, all earned, 5 hits. 5.5 complete. New York Mets 7, New York Yankees 4. However, the Mets won't be happy that even with this win, with the way the Reds have been playing against Philadelphia today, they're probably going to stay half game back of the Phillies on an Alec Bohm shot to left center. Where the bell went dong. Yankees, on the other hand, are relieved that the Twins came out on top 6-5 on a walk-off by Brooks Lee. Good thing I already got the app, but the problem is I don't have a subscription, so I can't really do this. Anyway, Scott Efros now comes on the pitch in relief of Carlos Rodon. 7 runs, 6 earned, 5 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks in 5 innings ends Rodon's day. The Pete Alonso homer was the nail in his coffin. Efros will start off against Luis Torrens, then he'll get Jeff McNeil, and wrap it up against Tyrone Taylor. Torrens 0 for 2. Blown out and grounded out. Takes strike one. One on the curveball. That's popped up, and it's going to go foul behind the first base dugout and into the second row behind the cameraman, into the third deck, upper deck in the back. 0-2. Avion Sandridge now warming up for the Yankees. Yeah, Efros isn't going to get much work here today, no matter how good he goes. 0-2 pitch. Got him. Chase the cutter. Cutter in the dirt. One away. And Neal pops it up to shallow left. Dominguez comes into the shadow, and he'll make the catch. 2 down. So 4 pitches, 2 outs. Efros is not a power pitcher for those wondering in his later career. He's a finesse guy. Ball 1. Yeah, I mean, you can't really use Brazzi or Garrett. The latter especially is a no-go since he's been overtaxed. You could use Stanek and Diaz, but with only a 1-day rest in an interval where they've been used in back-to-back games, I'm not willing to roll the dice. On paper, you're not willing to roll the dice. But on the other hand, can you really trust Chris Davinsky, Rico Garcia, or Zach Pop? Or Brendan Waddell? Waddell and Davinsky, maybe. Garcia and Pop, debatable. Well, at best, no at worst. 3-1 is he takes his third in the pitch. Pitch number 4 over the middle. Slider catches the inside. 3-2. And Taylor just stares at it. Strike 3. Efros comes back, falling behind 3-0 to get him on a pair of inkers that he doesn't bother to go after, and a sweeper that he thought was ball 4. So 1-2-3 inning for Efros. We go to the 7th. Mets 7, Yankees 4. Come on, Hayes. Whack it. If you're the Yankees, you don't want to hear that it's tied at 3 in the 10th. Runners on first and second, nobody out. And the and the Angels decide to intentionally walk Alejandro Kirk. Or maybe you do. Who knows? I sure as hell don't.
a kid, I was exposed to a lot of like stuff that kids aren't usually exposed to, and so I credit my dad for that.
I mean, on the one hand, you could bring Lovelady out to the 7th. Emphasis on could, since he only threw 4 pitches just to get out of the 6th. But do you roll the dice on this? And they are going to keep Lovelady in. This is a risk I'm not sure about. You're facing the bottom of the order. Dominguez takes strike 1. Don't jinx it, Gary. Strike 2. Oh, 2 in the dirt, 1 and 2. Too high, 2 and 2. Due to him ending up getting sick. Swing and a miss at the sweeper, strike 3. But that's only the 3rd strikeout of Yankee hitters today for the Mets. Please no DP, please no DP. Damn it, double play in Philly. Ball 1. Damn it, Spencer. Steer, for those wondering who's the Spencer I'm talking about. 2-0. Two and 1. With 4 and a third. That's foul, 2 and 2. Granted, the Mets gave up 5 yesterday. Volpe links one foul down the third base line. We'll do it again. Full count. And that's gone. 7-5.
It is high, it is far, it is gone! That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes! See ya!
That is ripped into right, back at the wall. See ya!
Schmidt swings at the first pitch and launches it to left center field and deep. Mitchell back, track, ball, see ya!
That one was into the bleachers in left center. I don't know about this move. You're gambling again, Mendoza. Swings and misses, strike one. Bet on the sweeper at the knees. And automatic ball for a pitch clock violation against Lovelady. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Boom. .408 shot. That's fouled off. We'll do it again. Fouled off again. At this point, you might as well get Lovelady off that mound and fast. Please, Mendoza, I'm begging you. Get Davinsky in there, damn it. I know, stupid of me to say, but at this point, you're shorthanded in the pen. Lovelady is getting gassed because he's starting to get his confidence rocked. Full count out on back-to-back hitters. Please get Lovelady out of there, damn it. It's fouled. Fouled again. Okay, now you're going to get him out of there? Slow tapper, bounce back to Lovely. He'll flip it to Alonso. 2 down. They're going to bring in DJ LeMahieu to pinch hit. That means Peraza's out of the game. So now the question is, if you're Mendoza, do you get counter gamble with Davinsky, or do you keep Lovelady out there? And it's going to be Davinsky coming in to try to close out the 7th. I don't know about this move. I mean, I get it. But here's the problem. This is not the right pitcher to send up against LeMahieu. Davinsky is 0-3 in the 3 matchups he's had against DJ. The 3 times LeMahieu has been his back against him. This is a gamble that is not worth it, in my opinion. But we'll see where the chips fall. Where the chips fall. Anyone who knows me knows I am not a fan of these kind of pitcher gambles by Mendoza. And it's now 5-1 Philadelphia. Gee, I wonder who hit one this time. Schwarbaum. No surprise. Atlanta goes up 6-5. First pitch is a ball to DJ LeMahieu. Why bring this kid in against Davinsky? Line drive in the right, base hit. Soto will throw the first, not in time. Well, not this time. Barely edged it out. Tying run out the play for Trent Grisham, and he'll take strike one. Sure, it wouldn't have made much of a difference, Ron. Keith. Ball one. Tapper back to the mound. Davinsky will scoop it up. Flip to Alonso. Inning over. Time to stretch. But the Mets do cough up another. This time on a Volpe solo bomb. Through 6.5. It's now the Mets 7. The Yankees 5. Yankees are starting to come back. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I got that over with. Mets will have Marte, Lindor, and Soto due up. For those who don't know who TC Bear is, he's the Twins mascot. I wonder when the perfect game ended. Let's see. Summary. Perfect through 5 and a 6. Third. Damn. Well, Atlanta takes the lead on a ground out by Jurickson Profar. And for those who don't remember, Profar was out for 80 games due to being busted for PEDs. He was suspended for 80 games due to PEDs. You gotta be kidding me. You're going to Ronnie Mauricio to pinch hit? Oh, no. First pitch to Mauricio. It's one through the hole. Base hit in the right. Mauricio racing around first. Heading for second. Judge with the cutoff. The throw to the bag. He's safe with a double. Ronnie Mauricio bringing the speed. Much as I don't want to agree with it, he did. If that's Marte, he would just hit the brakes at first. Pitch to Lindor on its way. Lindor will try to capitalize. Can he do it? Lines one in the center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Mauricio Speed will bring him home. 8-5 Mets. And Lindor is in safely. RBI single and a field and E8. The RBI will count for Lindor, and New York goes up 8-5. And the Mets go up 8-5. Hey Murdoch, I may not have many people in here, but at least my boys are kicking your ass today. And now Yavion Sandridge will make his major league debut when we get back from this commercial break. 8-5 Mets, runners back-to-back hits have led to a run for the Mets. And Soto is due up. Meanwhile, in Toronto, Bo Bichette has the bags loaded and a chance to play hero for the Jays and get them their 7th win in a row. Can they do it? And can he do it? Ball one. Gets away, but thankfully it's not far enough to where a man can take off. Scherzer had a bad outing again. Only 4 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts before being pulled. Fisher in line for the win if the Jays get a run home here. It doesn't matter how they get it home. Bichette swings and misses, 1-1. Call this a little bit of bonus coverage. That's foul, 1-2. So the Mets won't gain any ground on the Reds today. On the Phillies today, excuse me. But I can live with winning 4 in a row and still being within striking distance. Strike 3 to Bichette, 2 down. First pitch to Soto, low and away, ball one, low and in, ball 1. This season. He's been in 3 of the 4 A leagues. Basic, single A, high single A, and he's been in triple A. 1-0 pitch to Soto. That one just taken on the outside corner. It's 1-1. And Barger with a single wins it for Toronto. 7 in a row for the Jays. 7 victories in a row for Toronto. 1-2. Soto fouls that off. 0-2. It's still 1-2. There's Stanek getting ready for the 8th. Well, they're not going to gain any ground today on Philadelphia. That much we do know. 2-2. Alonso's walked, homered, and struck out today. 2-2 to Soto. Just outside, 2-2. Full count. Will be a 3-2 slider. It is, and Soto doesn't bite. Ball 4. So now double play situation if you're the Yankees. At this point, with this setup, first and second, nobody out, you got to play damage control against Alonso. Pete hit a 2-run homer in his last at bat back in the 5th that put the Mets up 5. Since then, Yankees got who won a double in the 6th and a solo in the 7th. Mets have gotten at least one of those 3 runs back. Managed to get one of those 3 runs back, however. For Pete, that's his 19th. That was his 19th of the year. First pitch is to Alonso, and this is crushed into the second deck, into the deck number 20, into the front row of the left field bleachers.
And Soto gets underway deep center track near the wall, and it's out of here. Time and ahead, 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. Back goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the field. It's out of here. 1-2 to Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field, chasing Rodin back to the warning track, and it's out of here! Pete Alonso goes the other way.
And normally I get on Mendoza's case for gambling, but Boone is just as bad, if not debatably worse. 3-run bomb to left. It's now 11-5 Mets. And compounding the issue further for the Yankees, the Blue Jays just won on a walk-off hit by Bartridge in 11 over the Angels to win their 7th consecutive game. 1-1. One by Nemo. 1-1 to Nemo. Let's just watch this. It was a cookie fastball. Boom. In the left field for Pete, number 20 on the season. That's foul by Nemo. That's hit toward left field. Foul. Foul again by Nemo. And Sandridge gets his first strikeout of his MLB career. Isn't it just what I said? McNeil fouls that one off. Vientos fouls that one off. Swings and misses at that one. 0-1. Only saving grace for the Yankees. The Rays also lost on a walk-off to Minnesota. 1-1. It's about 1-2. And now that lead's gone in the division. The Mets this week, on the other hand, went into a doubleheader against Milwaukee. Went into this week with a 3-gamer against Milwaukee, where they were a game and a half behind, and now here they are, where they were 2 games back, and here they are. Vientos goes down on strikes, and here they are. Even with the win today, they'll still be a half game back at Philadelphia. Mets going 5 out of 7 with runners in scoring position. Thank the long ball for that. Ball 1 to Torrens. I go with Fromber. Ball 2. And if they were, I would go with Fromber. Three and 1. So RBI totals for those wondering for the Mets, with the runs they've accumulated today. D'Alonso, 5 RBIs, he's up to 73. Lindor with 47, Marte with 20, and 52 for Nimmo off his salami. Torrens pops this one foul behind the seats. We'll do it again. And Torrens lays off. Ball 4. McNeil coming up. Hopefully by then the Mets will get some of their pitching back. McNeil takes ball 1 up and away, up and in. Not big chance for Peterson. If anything, I would have gone with Holmes to be a arm in the pen for the Mets to represent the Mets during the All-Star game. If Senga wasn't injured, that is. Two and 0 takes 2 and 1. 2-1 pitch. Oh, and McNeil gets plucked. Let's see what this got him. Him in the shoulder and then ricocheted off the cap. And then it hit off the back of the top of Wells's helmet. But he's okay. And now Boone is going to give him the hook. So Sandridge is done after 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, and a hit batter. And he gets booed out of the building. Runners on first and second, 2 out. Bottom 7, Mets up 6. What? I'm going to use the purple for the Saturday games when I can pick them up, okay? So fucking sue me. When the Mets are playing at home. So the Mets put up another 4 spark. And tonight we get to see it when they take on the Astros. Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom. September 3rd. The Tom Seaver Memorial Game. Hated that season. Mostly because we never had to go through any of that shit. Because of Fauci being a compulsive lying piece of garbage, who I hope gets put in the slammer and has his medical license revoked sooner or later. And now it's going to be JT Brubaker coming in. He's only had 4 appearances. He was picked up off free agency from the Pirates. Tyrone Taylor due up. First pitch. And it's a grounder to Chisholm. He'll go to second to get the force. Inning over. But the Mets do add 4 on 3 hits. The Mets do get 4 on 3 hits and strand 2. 7 innings complete. New York Mets 11. New York Yankees 5. I think I've been at this for about 2.5 hours. And I've been at this for 2.5 hours. Ow. Is it going to be Stanek, or are they going to keep Davinsky out there to face Aaron, basically the meat of the order, at least in recent weeks for the Yankees? That being Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Benny Rice. Final score in Philadelphia: Phillies 5, Reds 1. Yeah, no brainer that happened. Key play of the game: Alec Boehm's 2-run homer in the 6th inning that won it. Essentially sealed the deal for the Phillies. And it sealed the deal for Philadelphia. It's going to be Ryan Stanek going up against Judge. But this will be the third game in the last 4 Stanek has been pitching in. That one's fouled off by Judge 0-1. I'm not comfortable with this, to be perfectly honest. We've seen Austin Wells take a foul off the face. And now Terren's looking at him. Joe Golia, the athletic trainer, now out there to check on the catcher. And we're tied again in Atlanta. It's now 6-6. Had the ground ball RBI single by Holiday to get Mullins home. Okay. It's just been back and forth down in Atlanta for those wondering. Strike 2. Ball 1 just missed outside. Two. That's fouled off. We'll do it again. Two. It's grounded. Foul again. And at least the Judge is putting up a fight. If he can get through this inning without a scratch. Granted, Diaz might not be needed today. You're up 6. Emphasis on might not, but I'm being cautious. Full count. Payoff in the dirt, ball 4. Not what you want to do with someone like Cody Bellinger coming up. Fouled off by Bellinger on 1. Including 1 today on a double, on a 2, including 2 today on a double. Oh, back in the 6th inning. That one's hit to the left field line, and it's going to hook foul. 0-2 into the seats. Bays now come in to play third for Vientos. Sure. And foul. That's fouled again by Stanek by Bellinger. Bellinger going to take a timeout. This is going to take a bit. Fouled again. Stanek just fleeing that high fastball, and Bellinger just fighting it every step of the way. Well, the Yankee homers have been solos, while the Met homers have been multi-man shots. One-two to Stanek. Tap the short. Judge Linder will take the throw. Get Judge at second, but Bellinger too fast. It's a force out. Says Rice up next. So at the very least, the Mets get away from the potent 1-2 punch. That gets away, and that's going to move Bellinger to second. Rive tries one in the right center field. Taylor's not going to get it. It's going to get to the wall. 1 run comes home. 11-6 Mets. RBI double for Ben Rice. That leadoff walk comes back to bite Stanek. I don't know why he gambled on the slider, though. That puzzled me. You're not the only one who's confused me. How ironic. Chisholm awaits. He's got a homer today. It was a solo bomb. I would. Or world band transistors. Chisholm's first pitch. And he fouls it off. Home one. Ow. Considering that this is the third time in 4 days that Stanek has been pitching, you can tell he's getting a bit taxed. He's a little overtaxed. He's getting himself a bit overtaxed. One and one. I mean, would I have run the risk of letting Davinsky be out there for another pitch or two? Yes and no. That's tapped out. Letting Davinsky pitch the eighth? To be honest, yes and no. To be honest, yes and no. Let him face the big dogs to get that experience. And let him get pummeled. And then you bring at the expense of keeping them inning honest. Don't jinx it, Gary, please. Chisholm fouling it off again. I mean, the fact that it's taken 23 pitches for Stanek just to even try to find an out in this inning, you can tell he's overtaxed from working in 2 games over this being his 3rd game in the last 4, including today's game. Doesn't go. 2 and 2. Thank God for the automated zone next year. Stop throwing that slider, Ryan. Will count. Damn right he's not. It is arguably doing him more harm than good at this point. That's fouled off. And another walk. Hey, Mendoza, why'd you gamble on this? That was... Well, maybe, I don't know. You could have left Davinsky in, but then again, what good that would have done? Ball 4. You think, you motherfuckers? I mean, Edwin's not up to snuff today either. Oh, no. I have a bad feeling about this. Mendoza's gambling could bite him in the ass yet again. And for those wondering what I mean, you're up 5. You bring in a guy who's been overtaxed and has only had 1 day rest after working back-to-back games. And now you're going to risk it again? And that's even if Stanek gets this second out? You're a crazy motherfucker. Swung on a miss, 1 and 2 at least. But a strikeout will work. 2 down. That's fouled off by the Fox. This was the 7th inning. Volpe, left field shot, gone. Was he with the Mariners or with the Rays back then? I think it was a Ray. Now he's just throwing the cheese. Oh, he was a Marlin that year. Well, he goes for the high cheese, but he doesn't bite. 2 and 2. And another payoff pitch on its way. I can't fucking look. You are definitely sitting Stanek for the next couple of days after this one. Pop foul. Payoff pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3, and the Mets gather this with just 1 run of damage committed. I almost had a heart attack there. 1 run, 3 hits, 3 hits, 2 stranded for the Bombers. 7.5 complete. New York Mets 11, and the New York Yankees 6. That said, shut Stanek down for a number of days. You can't use some. You're not going to be able to use him tomorrow. I would be against using him at any point in the series against Baltimore coming up. And at best, don't use him until Kansas City. At best. Back to the last of the eighth. JT Brubaker comes on. He'll start off against Ronnie Mauricio, then Ryan Stanek, and then Juan Soto. First pitch, takes strike one on a sinker. Big cut and miss at the changeup. Off-speed pitches have been Mauricio's biggest weakness this year. 0-2. What? I'm not afraid to call a player out. Ball one. Akron, Ohio, for those wondering. I don't know other way. Chisholm's got it. He'll fire to throw out Ronnie. One down. First pitch to Lindor. Bounce it off. 0-1. I love Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. Rest in peace. Swing and a miss, 1-2. It'll not be a safe decision this time for Edwin, unlike yesterday for Garrett. 2-2. Lindor whacks one to right field. That's going to fall fair and into the corner. Lindor's going to make it to second with a one-out double. First career hit against Brubaker. No, wait, this is Soto it's talking about. with a strikeout and a ground out. And as usual, Soto takes strike one. Armstrong. Suarez. 1-1. Which is odd. Alonso so fouls that one off. 1-2. Yankees are 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight. The Mets have gone 5 out of 8. Ball 2. But Soto hits one right, and that's gone. No, it's a single. Scratch that. Sorry. The wall, but Judge plays the carom smartly, and the Mets. Lindor will score, and Soto will hit the brakes. RBI number 51 on the year for Soto, and the Mets lead is now back up to a 6-run lead at 12-6. That was just basically a long single that bounced off the bullpen door. And it hit off the bullpen door, off the fencing of the bullpen door. Alonso takes ball 1 low from Brubaker. Yes, I'm kind of a fucking masochist. And it looks like it'll be, who is that, Rico Garcia? No, it's Zach Pop who's going to come out on the pitch for the ninth for the Mets. Interesting. Very interesting. 1-1 pitch. Alonso grounds it to Chisholm. 5-4-3 double play. But the Mets do get that run back. We go to the 9th. New York Mets 12. New York Yankees 6. And the New York Yankees 6. Each team hit 3 homers. Yankees had 3 solo shots. The Mets had a grand slam, a 3-run shot, and a 2-run shot between 2 different players. So yeah, half of the Yankee runs have come on the long ball, and 3/4 of the Met runs have come off the long ball today. The Yankees are going to need a lot of help. They'll have Wells, LeMahieu, and Grisham, and if they can get back to the top of the lineup, they'll have Judge facing Zach Pop. I don't know about this move. I mean, yeah, you're up 6, and you want to save Diaz for another day at best, so he can break even with his rest period. In the meantime, over on TV, we go to Chavez Ravine, where Shohei Ohtani will be making another start at home for the Dodgers as he takes on the Houston Astros, the best in both leagues West since June 3rd, who have led their division since leapfrogging San Francisco and Seattle, respectively. But he faces Framber Valdez. Now, I understand why Davey Roberts hasn't let Shohei pitch more than 2-3 innings at best, from what I understand. It's mostly to ensure that he doesn't burn his arm out for when he goes up to bat. Remember, Ohtani was signed as a two-way player by Anaheim when he joined the league in 2019 or 20, if I remember correctly. Oh, they are going to go to Diaz. Okay, interesting choice. But again, this is not a save decision unless he coughs up 3 or 4 runs. But we'll see what happens. Something I'm praying not for to not be the case. First pitch is a strike over the middle, 0-1. So knew if he got it a little more off the middle of the bat, he would have gotten it over the fence. That's fouled off, 0-2. I could see that. In the dirt, 1-2, and much. Ball 2. Two. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. I think the Mets are only doing this with just 10 hits to their name. Got 12 runs on 10 hits to their names today, this afternoon, into this evening. DJ LeMahieu. He better be. DJ LeMahieu up. Strike 1. Whoa, that was way upstairs, 1-1. In other games, Baltimore retakes the lead against Atlanta. It's now 7-6. And about to be a little bit more. Let's see what it is. Mayhew takes one the other way. Base hit. So is it an RBI? So it's an RBI double, 1 out. Oh, it's a 2-run double. Never mind. So it's now 9-6 in favor of Baltimore. World Series matchups since 2017, half of them have involved Houston, and they've won half of them. Though controversy with the 2017 title. While in the other half of the matchups, more often than not, had the Dodgers involved. Strike 1 to Grisham. Which won the series for the Mets for the first time in almost a month. 1-1. Strike 2. Judge on deck. Those are words you don't want to hear. You need a double play ball. Too high, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yes, sets. Strike 3 looking. 2 down. This was the one that ended the game against the Yankees on May 17th. Swing and a miss, and LeMahieu's just going to take second on defensive indifference. Took the high cheat. He swung at the offered at the high cheese, and he missed. Strike 2. Ball 1. Meanwhile, in Houston, in LA, first pitch by Ohtani to Paredes is a ball. 1-2 comes, and it's fouled off. One, two, ground ball. Baty dives. He's got it. He's going to fire the first. Put in the books. Mets win. Game over, 12-6. And they'll take the second Subway Series from the Yankees, who have now lost 6 in a row, while the Mets have now won 4 in a row. Stand up, New York Mets fans. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up early on and in and out of this game. In call, I know it was a bit impromptu and ad-libbed more or less. Forgive the interruptions by my mother. But nonetheless, your winning pitcher getting his first of the year, Frankie Montas. Losing pitcher, Carlos Rodon. Montas goes 5 2/3, gives up 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 home runs, strikes out 2. Carlos Rodon, 7 runs, 6 earned, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs. Overall, the Yankees went 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position to the Mets 6 out of 9. 2 stolen bases by the Mets, a throwing error by the Yankees. Richard Lovely goes an inning, gives up a solo bomb. Chris Davinsky giving up a hit. Ryan Stant giving up a run and a hit. Diaz giving up a hit. But the Mets do get 7 strikeouts, walk 2, cough up 3 Mets pitching, that is, and give up 3 home runs. Yankees, on the other hand, give up 3 home runs in their own right, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks, 10 runs, 11 earned, 12 runs, 11 earned, 10 hits. In a game that lasted 3 hours, 6 minutes in front of 44,401 at Citi Field. That's it for this episode, for this live call of the Aboriginal Sports Network broadcast of MLB baseball by myself, Mets2128. I want to thank everyone who showed up. Comment, like, share, and subscribe to not just myself, but other members of the broadcast network. Big Pat, MYG Unpopular Opinion, the Man Cave Podcast, aka S-God, TP, Ghost Dog, and various others. I'll be back on Sunday, probably Monday, because I'm not sure if we're going to get the G1 Climax cards in until Monday at best, given we had an injury to one of the competitors. He's been forced to pull out, and we're getting a last chance gauntlet tomorrow to see who gets his spot. And I really don't think we're going to get the cards until Monday night, until Monday at best. I mean, at worst, Sunday afternoon at best. Regardless, comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Mets2128. Goodbye, and good fucking night. Bang. See you on the flip side.